Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate about how result cache works within Snowflake. So in Snowflake, there are three kinds of cache. One is your metadata cache, second is your result cache, and third is your warehouse cache. So over here, I'm going to demonstrate about how your result cache works. Okay. Now what I will do is I will change the context, of this worksheet to use compute warehouse, and obviously I will change the schema so that I point to the exact table and your schema so that I can run some queries. And what I will do is I will try to execute this query first. Okay. So what does that mean? I am using compute warehouse and I am executing this query for the very first time. And I will see how much time does it take for this query to execute, and also I will try to analyze the query profile. Okay. Now if you see this, this query is getting has got executed using or probably it took 402 milliseconds to execute. And then if we see the query ID, okay, and it will give you the details of the query profile. And over here we can clearly see that in this query profile, okay, so we are not using anywhere your result cache. Okay, it is a standalone query wherein your everything is kind of working as per expectation by doing the table scan. There are some filter nodes, aggregation nodes, so on and so forth, and that's why it took around 400 to milliseconds, right? So now what we will do is we will try to run the same query. Okay, what we will do is we will try to run the same query and then see what happens. Okay, now again I will execute this query. Okay, and now we saw this query has finished on 89 milliseconds. Okay, and if I see the query ID, okay, then what will it give? Will it give all the various nodes, or it will give something else? You see, it gave me one particular important node, which is query result reuse. What does that mean? All the query was able to use my result cache, and hence your query got executed in a much faster time. Okay. Next, what we will do is we will kind of try to test this use case using a different scenario. And the scenario is we will be running the same query, okay, again, but using a different warehouse. Okay, so the warehouse will be demo wh extra small underscore 01. Okay, now again we'll change the context. Okay, but I will execute the same query all over again without changing anything. Okay, without changing the underline data, without changing the syntax, everything is same, but the change which I did was from compute wh, which is the warehouse, I have changed it to demo wh extra small underscore 01. And then I will see whether this particular execution will use the result cache or it will be executed as a standalone query, right? So let's see what happens, right? Cool. So this query again got executed in 54 milliseconds, and if we see the query ID, your profile, and one important observation again, it'll come out. And what is that observation is query result reuse. What does that mean? Even if I changed the virtual warehouse, but the same query, was executed again and it was still able to use your result cache. Okay. So we will little bit extend it further by running the same query now in a different session. Okay, so what we will do is we will change the session. Okay, now over here what is the session name, sorry, number. So I will copy this session number. Okay, and then I will paste it over here. Okay, and over here what I will do is this is a new worksheet, and obviously it is expected to have a different session. Now if I copy this over here, if you see this, these two session numbers are different, right? I mean 897 and then it is 894. Now what I will try to do is I will try to execute the same query in this session, and obviously I can use any warehouse, right? Let's say I use this compute warehouse. Okay, and then I will see whether if my session changes, will it be still able to use the result cache, or there will be a different behavior, okay, in terms of your result cache. So see, I have copied the same query and then I will execute it, okay, in a different session. This time it is getting executed in a different session. Oh, sorry, there was some change, in the syntax. So what I will do is I'll have to select everything, okay. Cool, it got executed. Again, the time is almost similar, which indicates that it was able to use the result cache and give us the output. See, your query result reuse. So this, clearly demonstrates how powerful your result cache within Snowflake is architected. Irrespective of you, or rather we, changing the warehouses, changing the session, we are still able to use the result cache, meaning, you run the query once and you can execute, you can use your result cache for multiple times across warehouses, across sessions, across users, okay. And result cache is valid for 24 hours, and few caveats or catches to it, that when to use result cache, please ensure that your queries underlying data do not change, and things like your query is exactly the same, right? Now look at over here, right? If within this query I change a very simple syntax, okay, like, let's say this is small as, what I will do is capital as, okay, and I am expecting that it'll still use my your result cache, okay, but I've changed the syntax a little bit. What will happen, okay, to this, right? If you see this, it is executing, okay, it took more time, okay. What does that mean? It was not able to use the result cache because your query syntax has changed. Even for a smaller change, it will not use your result cache, okay. And then there is a parameter through which we can enable and disable your result cache, and the parameter is called as use cached result. You can, fire the command like show parameters, and then using the result scan function, you can frame a query like this, and then ensure that you make it as true or false. If it is true, then I will be able to use the result cache. If it is false, then I will not be able to use the result cache, right? So that was all about, folks, how result cache works within Snowflake. I gave you 3 or 4 examples of how to use it, and also explained you in which cases your result cache, will not be used, right? So things when used, diligently, it can really, solve a lot of use case, and we can really gain with respect to performance whenever we are running a lot of workloads within Snowflake. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful.